Wrecking Ball has just won an Overwatch Major. Okay, well, he was a part of many of the strategies that were used to win the Overwatch Major. However, Crazy Raccoon, the team that won, were the only really team that used Wrecking Ball, and definitely the only team that actually got some success out of this character. So how did they do it? How did they make Wrecking Ball work? So basically, I'm going to run you through 3 maps here. It's not the only maps that Wrecking Ball was played, but these were where I felt it was the most successful and the most indicative of like how this comp actually plays and why it works. So I'm going to go ahead and start it here. So basically, what you guys are looking at is Space Station Gaming. Basically, Crazy Raccoon know that Space Station Gaming want to play Rush. They want to play Ramatra, maybe even Reinhardt. And what that means is that they're going to be playing primarily inside Cage, which is where the mini is. You can see it right here. This is Cage. Basically, the strategy that Crazy Raccoon have with this Wrecking Ball is that it is going to play very non-committally and take a lot of angles on this little box area. Basically, and try to allow or prevent Space Station from running on anybody if they choose. And make the bunker inside of that room hell, because you'll have people from every different angle coming in all the time trying to displace them, to poke and do all of that. So you'll see Space Station right here that they make this beeline for the Cage. Sparker tries to find somebody on the cast, and of course the Tracer's not going to play there. But what ends up happening is that instantly right away, I don't think they're ready for this Wrecking Ball. It's definitely an off-kilter strategy. Landon goes up to put himself alone on top of this high ground, assuming he'd be safer from the dives in a very defensive position. But Junbin hits a really insane rollout, combos it really well with Heesang, and boom, instantly dead. They do trade their Ana here, but now they're stuck in this little room with very little healing. And Crazy Raccoon have a much better positional advantage to try to poke them out over a long period of time here. So you can see Sparker is really low, and he's just having to hide in the corner forever. They're trying to walk out and make something happen, but they've already killed the Ana, and that's the target that they would run on. They're just going to get picked clean here. And let's talk about the Ana while we're waiting for these fights to go. So basically, why is Ana being played here and not Kiri? Well, if I had to take a guess, I would say that Kiri is more of a liability, as she can't really play super far away and get the same kind of value that Ana would, so she'd have to play closer and potentially get her resources forced on, because she is one of the targets that they would want to run on and get her TP or primarily her Suzu out. Ana instead can play super far away from the Brawl Core on high grounds and everything, and just look for anti-nades that can assist with the dive. And I'm pretty sure that's why we're seeing the Ana here. You'll see, we saw some Ana this weekend in some other comps. Basically, Ana was there to run in and throw a nade and die and win the fight for her team in a lot of situations. So I don't think that's quite what Ana is doing in this composition, but that's why I think we have the Ana here over the Kiri. Now, same thing here. You're going to see, speaking of that Ana, Space Station now realize that this is what they're going on, that this is what they're up against, right? So they're going to try and do their best to rotate onto the backline to go get this Ana, but right there you saw the slam from Junbin. The second that they walk out of Cage here into the open, that is instantly when they're caught out. 3 are in the air in that, remember, buffed lockout period, so they're going to be stuck in the air for a lot longer here. And all the abilities have to be used. They get super split, a gigantic stick from Heesang, and that's it, right? That is how this comp plays, right? Whenever they try to do something, the Space Station tries to do anything, they will hit them in rotation, make their lives miserable. If they aren't doing anything and playing very passive, they just poke them out and take the resources down. There's really nothing you can do unless Space Station had extremely good rotations and also a lot of mechanical skill, just to an extent that would just be crazy, right? I see. So now they do the nano, they go in, they're super early, right? I think there's also another advantage of these comps is that they can take fights and chases super early and super deep, but also be really safe and be able to get back and get all their resources back. So Crazy Raccoon take this extremely early fight here, but they're able to fall back and get a lot of resources out of Space Station and keep the fight going and basically give themselves another good fight while Space Station have to take a second not as good one for them. Basically, they don't get as many good fights. Now, Space Station do actually get the better of them here. I lied. Never mind. I guess not. Yeah. Oh, I forgot to say. So Space Station were initially on the BAP, but when he got dove, they swapped to Curie to go faster to get on the Ana. Also, another thing you have to know about this map is if you've seen Junbin just flying around this map, it's a very, it's vertical map, but it has a lot of ceilings and everything. Basically, it's moderately vertical so that Ball can get a lot of value out of the high grounds and use it for mobility and cover. And basically be super stealthy on the Wrecking Ball. I don't want to say super stealthy, it's not exactly the right word, but he's minimizing the damage and the attention that he's taking before the fight so that he is more surprising and he can take fights longer. I feel like that's why this Ball works really well on specifically into this kind of brawl style. You'll see, or you won't see, but Crazy Raccoon later in against their series against Falcons, on they actually decide to play a Winston mirror because the Ball does not work nearly as well into other dive compositions. So basically, in that case scenario, the Ball was pulled out because it was a counter comp, right? And to be fair, that's kind of why the Ball came up in the most place. But I think the really interesting thing here is that the Ball came back out not in the first series against Team Falcons. Actually, it kind of did, but it didn't go very well, and they swapped off of it. But the Ball came out in the second series against Team Falcons on New Queen Street, I'm pretty sure, first. Now, this map was kind of just a showcase for the Wrecking Ball. Basically, this has the same thing as Ilios well, especially this beginning part. Actually, let's talk about this beginning map section here, why it's so good for Wrecking Ball. Two very big things here. So this middle section is just like Ilios well in that there's a lot of good cover position. He can go over the roof, so he can kind of fling himself very fast, very frantically. He can escape a lot of things. Ball can just maneuver around this map really well. Number two, actually there's three things. Number two, the health packs are extremely accessible on this map and really easy to get for Ball's rotation. So when Ball is kind of doing these long rotations around the map to be safe, he's getting a health pack here, he's getting a health pack here, he's getting health packs here and here, he's getting health packs over here and over here. There's health packs in these mini rooms. Basically, wherever Ball wants to go and wants to escape to, there's always a health pack there, always getting him back into the fight quicker and quicker. Remember that Ball, with the new healing passive and his shields, also gets a bunch of regen. So when he gets health packs too, it just gets him in the fight even faster than he already would be. Also, of course, you have to know that with a Wrecking Ball on the field, and specifically a Pharah as well, this high ground area becomes basically uncontestable by the other team. They cannot really stay here and get this good long sight line anymore because they are in such risk of being completely displaced and even killed right off the map. If they fall forward, they're in a really bad spot. If they get booped off the map, obviously they're in a very bad spot. So I think that this Wrecking Ball on New Queen Street is a really, really solid strategy, even against a comp like this Mauga comp that I think on paper does much better against the Wrecking Ball. Part of that is because that the Mauga, when he lights the Ball on fire, Ball has to get a health pack to take the fire off, and if he doesn't get the fire off, that's a bunch of extra seconds that he's not getting his passive regen, and that's time out of the fight that he has to be in. Now, remember what I said about this map. The health packs are very accessible, so I think that's why the Ball is getting played here even into the Mauga, because it really isn't that much of a factor, and Ball can be back in the fights much earlier than you would think. Basically, and of course I talked about it in the last map, and you're going to see it a lot in this first fight, is that the speed of this Wrecking Ball comp allows them to just keep putting the pressure on and just keep going and catching really early, right? Lipko's extremely aggressive here, knowing that Junbin right there with the follow-up. Smurf is back. He is already dead. Jumbin finds proper again. Like, here they are in the spawn after first fight. Only a minute of time has passed. The Wrecking Ball and the Sojourn and everybody already here, already wanting to keep the pressure up. And you never know where these teams are going to come from, right? You do not know where Crazy Raccoon are going to come from. Where's the ball going to be set up? Where's the Pharah going to be set up? Very hard to keep tabs on it, especially on this first point, or at least trying to contest it. Of course, also, we should talk about it like ball does pair really well with the Pharah. Specifically really well nowadays because of that increased movement lockout duration on that pile driver. It makes hitting Pharah rockets on targets that ball has slammed much more consistent. That is a very big factor. Pharah has always been very good with ball, but just being able to get more consistency out of Pharah rockets, that is very, very scary. You'll see here now they have taken the bot through the first checkpoint. He's saying, I believe, is going to swap over to the Venture now. Okay, never mind. He's actually going to stay on Pharah. I lied again. He swaps over to the Venture here. I think the Venture is better on the second portions of the map. I think Pharah is really good in the neutral here, while you're more consistently over these spots where the Pharah is really good. Pharah is really good where ball is really good. Oh my god, that boop as well. There you go. A prime example of why Wrecking Ball is so good on this map. Also, just, I would like to point out that when you have Junbin as your Wrecking Ball, look at his mechanics, right? He goes in, gets this giant slam off of that, like, bank shot, jump off of that corner. He chases Chio here. Chio's a god, and he somehow gets him off his tail. But, yeah, Junbin just absolute monster on this Wrecking Ball, too. Cannot be said enough. I think most teams, even if they tried to play this, if they don't have a proficient enough Wrecking Ball on their team, this does not happen. I mean, Junbin was just using so many of these new mechanics that Wrecking Ball has to their basically their fullest extent. I couldn't tell how much he was using the transferred allies feature of his shield. Honestly, I don't think that is that much of a factor, to be honest with you, even though it feels like it should be. I think it is still very niche, even in these settings. You also have to remember with the Wrecking Ball, Tracer is no longer nearly as effective against Wrecking Ball because of the armor changes. Tracer can't pepper the ball and like keep up with him. She can definitely do a lot to him. It's still a good thing, but it is much harder. So ball can get to fights much more consistently. Now, what you're seeing here is another reason like why Mauga is played into ball. Cage, really just ball comps in general. Cage just destroys a ball comp, right? There is nothing that you can do. Cage, like let's say Cage in a Mauga mirror, right? The Mauga, maybe he uses his own, like Cage goes down, maybe the other Mauga uses his own Cage, maybe he just cardiacs, maybe we Kitsune, right? Like there's ways to get through it. If you Cage anybody in the ball comp, you have won the fight, basically. You do not have to catch the ball, you do not have to catch anyone in particular, you just instant guarantee a kill. So that is like, Cage is a very good ult for this team comp in particular. We already talked about that Venture swap. Also, the thing about these compositions, the Mauga comp, and why I think the ball works so well is because this is, you know, a Kiri, Lucio, like, you know, Mauga. It's kind of all in. It's very hard, like, you know, you all go in, you go use your shout value, and then maybe you can get out afterwards. But there are a lot of resources that get pumped in that initial engage, and then sometimes you'll have to just back if that's not the case. But a lot of times the game plan is to get a lot out of that initial engage. This comp with the Venture, Soj, you know, this highly mobile Wrecking Ball, very good at baiting those hard engages, right? Like, oh look, we're gonna go right. The Lucio looks like he's feeding, right? Or it looks like we can catch the Venture out before they burrow. All of a sudden, when you're doing that and you're going in and using these resources, ball has displaced you enough for everybody else to scatter, and then you're never gonna kill the ball because you really have no way to. With, you know, no CC, the damage is decently low. I mean, like, what the hell is Kiriko doing to a Wrecking Ball, right? Damage-wise, at least. So that can be a really good way because, you know, once that shout is out, this comp gets a lot harder to play. Honestly, to be honest with you, I don't really like the Venture swap here from Stalker. because it makes, again, like it focuses the comp on being too all in. You cannot be that all in against the Wrecking Ball, because if you mess it up, which you very likely could be, because that's what they're trying to make you do, that's kind of it, right? I feel like I might have preferred the Sojourn just to find like an actual like early pick from range. I don't know. I'm just not a super big fan of that. This map goes back and forth and back and forth. I do want to talk very quickly about the last map, basically because there isn't that much too new in this map, but this was the final map of the series and the tournament. So that's why when I say Wrecking Ball has won a tournament, they were playing Wrecking Ball the entire final round of this tournament here. The only thing I have here to add really is that they are playing Ana with this. Again, I think this is more of the I'm going to go die on Ana because it's harder to keep her alive. You can see that she's playing very, very far back. So you can kind of do that, but I think the real point is she's also there for the bait, right? You want to bait the team and going like, let's just go on the Ana. She's the easy one. The second they all get there, or while they're trying to get to her, they hit a nade in the face, they get disrupted by everybody, and it all falls down, right? It all crumbles. Now, if Team Falcons actually take the first couple of fights here, but Crazy Raccoon are able to claw it back and get a really, really clutch victory. I'm gonna go ahead and just skip to when they're doing a little better here, because those are when my points are a little more relevant. Here you're gonna see like just this crazy chase. So they're winning this fight pretty hard, but they're just going so deep in the spawn here. Like, there goes Jumpin'. He's just going. He's going. He doesn't care. He's touching the spawn door. He gets an awesome slam on Stalker at the spawn gates. Fielder can't even get back inside. Like, and then they're gone, right? There's no danger to them. Proper tries to get that cheeky Widow pick, but it just doesn't work. There's no danger to them. They can go so deep and just instantly leave. There's no all-in. It's very non-committal. From this team because basically because of a lot of these Wrecking Ball buffs too. Like, Ball doesn't have to commit nearly as hard as he used to anymore. It's very good at forcing cooldowns early. In fact, I think the Suzu was just forced. He definitely got the TP out, so that's one target that they're definitely looking for now, right? Well, maybe not. Maybe they just ignore him, I guess. But yeah, they can force cooldowns out early and then escape. Basically the same thing with the Ramatra Brawl comp, right? Same idea here. I'm just going to skip to the end of this just so we can watch them kind of clutch out this fight. FYI, in case anyone had any doubts, Lip is an absolute gaming warlord and pops off so hard on the Tracer here and keeps them in this fight and kills like 1 million. There you go. There's this first one of many on its way. But yeah, that is basically it for the Wrecking Ball stuff while we let this play out. Should you play Wrecking Ball in your ranked games? Absolutely not. If you have no idea how to play this character, that will not change. There is no free value on Wrecking Ball. You have to work for it pretty hard. You kind of have to know what you're doing more so. So I would definitely avoid him unless you are proficient on the character. Will we see more Wrecking Ball going forward? Who knows? We're going to have another like meta because we'll have some balance changes before the next time we see any professional Overwatch. I would say that, Wrecking Ball will probably be a niche pick, probably like a comfort pick. It's hard to call Wrecking Ball a comfort pick because he is such a hard character and such a weird playstyle when other compositions get much more value for free. But it is possible. I definitely would keep an eye out for him. I think a lot of teams, especially I think there were some scrims with Falcons and or Crazy Raccoons versus Once Again, who are the Chinese team coming in. Basically, the Hangzhou Spark is basically that entire same roster. They were playing some Wrecking Ball in scrims. So Ball is showing up here and there. He's definitely going to be good in team play, at least on certain maps into certain compositions. But again, probably avoid him if you're trying to find success in ranked. But yeah, that's it. I think that is why the Wrecking Ball was used. Again, they didn't play the Wrecking Ball much else or many other places. I feel like the conditions have to be very specific, but once it gets going, it is very, very hard to shut down. If you can play Wrecking Ball on those maps, honestly, it looks very good. If you are proficient enough, you probably should. It looks like it's hard to answer and hard to really get the full value out of countering it with your comp. So anyways, that's it. That is some professional analysis here. Kind of rare on this channel. I kind of want to bring it back once OWCS starts again. But if you guys like this video, please let me know. I'm interested to see if you guys actually like this professional analysis kind of stuff, or if you want me to just stick to my regular rework kind of stuff. Honestly, it doesn't matter to me. I like doing everything. So let me know what you guys want to see. Leave a like, comment, subscribe if you like this video. If you want to get in on this discussion live, that's twitch.tv/LaneHemingway. I do a discussion every single time I go live. If you want to get in on discussions on my Discord, send me hot takes, anything like that, that's in the link in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good day.